Okay, welcome to the deep dive. You've brought us a really intriguing piece of an ancient text today. It's called Tissametteyyamāṇavapucchā.
That's right. It's quite a name, but the content is, I think, incredibly relevant.
Absolutely. And our mission really is to unpack what it's saying about some pretty deep topics: contentment, freedom from agitation, and even what it means to be, a great person, according to this perspective.
Yeah, it offers a unique definition there.
What's really interesting straight away is the format. It's not just a lecture, is it? It's structured as questions and answers, almost like an old interview.
Exactly. You have this figure, Tissa Metteyya, asking these profound questions, and then the Bhagava, the Blessed One, giving these, well, quite powerful answers.
So we're going to explore those questions, dive into the answers, and see what kind of perspective on liberation and greatness emerges. It's kind of amazing thinking this was written millennia ago but still speaks to us.
It really does. The core human struggles seem quite timeless.
So Tissa Metteyya, he jumps right in, doesn't he? He asks these fundamental questions, sort of cutting to the chase.
He does. The first one is, Kude santusito loke,
Which means...
who is content in the world?
Is
A simple question, but huge.
Yeah, a huge one. And he follows it right up with Kasanathanti Hinjitu.
Meaning, for whom are there no agitations? So, who's content and who's free from that inner turmoil, that disturbance?
These are pretty big questions, aren't they? I mean, who is truly content, and how do you even get to a state without being constantly, agitated?
Well, and the Bhagava's answer gives a pretty specific path. It's not vague.
Yeah.
The text says, Kamesu brahmakaryava, vitatas sadasato sakyani bhuto piku taseno santinjita.
Okay, let's break that down a bit.
Right. So it says the one without agitations is first celibate regarding sensual pleasures, kamesu brahmakaryava, then free from craving vitato,
Free from craving.
always mindful sadasato, and finally, a bhikkhu, like a monk or mendicant, who is extinguished through understanding sakayana bhuto.
So celibate regarding sensual pleasures. For a monk, that's maybe literal, but for us.
That's a key point. While it refers to the monastic path, the deeper insight for anyone, I think, is about mastering our relationship with all kinds of sensual pleasures, not being controlled by them.
So it's not necessarily about total denial, but about freedom from their pull, maybe, so they don't cause that agitation.
Exactly. It's ensuring they don't rule you or lead to that inner disturbance. Finding freedom from their dominance, you could say, not necessarily freedom from ever enjoying anything mindfully. It ties contentment directly to these internal disciplines.
Right. So mastering desires, no craving, constant mindfulness, and this liberation through understanding,
Right.
It really sounds like a whole internal framework for well-being.
It is a complete package, in a way.
And then Tissa Metteyya pushes it further. He asks, Kouf, Antamabinyaya Majematanalipati.
Which translates to something like, who, having fully understood both ends, is not stained by the middle.
Okay, both ends, and not stained by the middle. What are we talking about here? What are these ends?
That's crucial. Both ends usually points to extremes, common dualities, like attachment to existence versus non-existence, or maybe pleasure versus pain.
Or even like really strong opinions being stuck on one side of an argument.
Exactly. It could be any of those polarizing forces. So to understand both ends means having this deep insight into how these dualities work, seeing their limits, maybe their impermanent nature.
Moving beyond just simple good, bad, right, wrong thinking.
Precisely. And then not stained by the middle. Well, that means transcending the entanglement between those extremes, not getting caught in that constant push and pull.
Maintaining some kind of equilibrium.
Equanimity.
That's the idea, true equanimity. And you see how it builds on the previous answer, right? That same internal mastery, freedom from craving, mindfulness, that's what allows someone to reach this balanced, undisturbed state.
It's really striking how internal this definition of freedom is. First, freedom from agitation, now transcending these dualities. And the next question, it really zeroes in on what many might see as the ultimate goal, being a great person.
He asks, Kabrusi mahapurisoti, ko itasibanim akaga.
Which means, whom do you call a great person? And who has overcome the stitching?
Stitching! That's such a vivid image. What is this stitching? What needs to be overcome? And how does that relate to being great?
It's a fantastic metaphor, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the Bhagava's answer really ties everything together. He says, Dabrumi mahapuri sotiso idasibani makaga.
Which is?
That one I call a great person. They have overcome the stitching. So the stitching, it represents those binding forces.
Like attachments, desires.
Exactly. attachments, desires, maybe ingrained patterns of thought and emotion. Basically anything that keeps us tied to agitation, to dissatisfaction.
The things that sort of sew us into the fabric of suffering, keep us stuck in cycles.
That's a great way to put it. It's the mechanism that stitches us in. So the great person isn't defined by, say, power or wealth or status.
No external stuff.
Right. It's defined by their ability to transcend these bonds, to cut the threads, if you will. And how do they do that? Through those qualities we already talked about.
Mastering desires, no craving, mindfulness, understanding.
Exactly. Mastery over sensuality and craving, constant mindfulness, and that ultimate liberation that comes through deep understanding. It's a completely internal state of being unbound.
Wow. So thinking about this for us today, what does it all mean? This ancient text is giving us this really profound definition of a great person, of true freedom. And it's not about external achievements at all.
Not in the way we usually think about it.
It's all internal states. Cultivating this mastery over desires, getting free from craving, being constantly mindful, and achieving liberation through understanding. It really challenges us to look inside for what greatness means.
Absolutely. And what's so insightful, I think, is how it lays out a clear path, or at least the components of a path, to get beyond that stitching.
Those things that keep us bound, agitated, always wanting something more.
It really highlights the, you could say, transformative power of mindful awareness and genuine understanding, using those tools to reach that state of being not stained by the middle, truly content, undisturbed by whatever the world throws at you.
So as you're listening and reflecting on this deep dive, maybe here's something provocative to think about. We live in a world that's constantly pulling us towards extremes, right? Towards new desires, endless external goals.
Definitely.
So the question is, what stitching in your own life might you be seeking to unbind? And maybe how could some of these ancient practices, mindfulness, deeper understanding, actually help you find a more profound sense of contentment right here, right now?